Hi everyone. Volvo. Drive like a driving instructor. Few birds with one stone, really. I'm going to give everyone a little bit of an update on what's happened with the Volvo. I've got a reason why I'm heading out in the Volvo, because I've actually found some wheels off eBay, 140 quid. They're wheels that do go on this car, but a different model. They go on the R-Line one, but they're all the same. They look pretty good condition. I think as well that with what I've got them for, I may be able to sell the others with tyres and break even at least. So we'll keep you updated with that. But we're going to go off to Knutsford today and go and pick up a set of wheels. But I'd like to do a drive like a driving instructor video on this car because it feels totally different than the Focus ST, pretty obviously. And I want to just give people an idea of how I deal with less power and the aspects of this car that do vary differently, greatly vary differently from the Focus ST. So filled up with fuel. We're going to see what MPG we do. I've got my AUC CarPlay screening. I have got another mount for this. There's one here that did keep on coming off, but I've just left it and it seems to be pretty solid. So there is an option of putting it on this mount up here, but I've got another mount. It's fixed into the CD holder of the car at the minute. It's pretty good. You can still get to the key, everything, all the blowers and all that work over the top. It's not interfering with the dashboard, so it may stay there, but I've actually got another bracket that pushes it a little bit higher to this sort of area, so I'm going to have a little play with that and see where I prefer it. But the car's all good to go. It passed its MOT with flying colours. I've had the stone chips fixed in the windscreen. Auto glass came out. A little point about them as well, that there was an option when I went on the Auto Glass website, which was I was directed straight to from Admiral, who I'm insured with. There was different options of service. There was a normal one, an economy one and a premium one. And effectively all they were trying to do by going above the economy one is just sell you windscreen wipers for about 50 quid, so don't get conned into that. Just the basic one, basic fix, worked well. The guy who came out was really friendly. He actually showed me a little bit about how it worked, so thank you to you. I didn't even catch the guy's name, but he was a lovely guy and he was more than happy to show me the job that he did. You know me, big sponge, just always absorbing information. So like I said, just filled up with fuel. We've got about 40 minutes until we get to where I've got to go. So I'm just going to have a little talk about the car. Now, it's obviously not as quick as the Focus, without question. It's got 115 brake, but it's still well good enough to alter your speed and get you into little gaps and spaces. But I have been really surprised with how I felt driving it. Now, I just don't know whether I am just getting really old, but I've enjoyed the comfort. I've enjoyed the fact as well that no one's racing me all the time or trying to race me. I'm a little bit anonymous in this car as well. I just like driving it, and it's blown my mind on what it's actually like. Well, I think. So what bits stand out? The seat's really comfortable, all good. It does feel nice and tight, nice and sharp. Everything feels a lot newer than nearly 150,000 miles, but I'm just going to have a little look at a couple of things on the way out. I don't know what particular subject I'm going to go with. I'm just going to drive to what I see, but I'm going to try and reference it to the Volvo. So heading right on the roundabout. The use of the gas, not a brilliant start by the Seat. The use of the gas needs a little more pressure obviously to get some results from it, which is pretty obvious. But the big thing for me is how the clutch feels as well. There's a lot shorter throw on the clutch pedal to actually get it going. It's not as sharp. It's actually quite easy to drive. So I'm still going to use it and get going. It's 50 miles an hour. Still pulling super strong. Not even revving it all the way out. Yeah, no problems joining, that's all okay. I am heading on the motorway and staying on the motorway, so we're all good. It's not quite as quiet, although I have got the blowers on, I have got the air conditioning on. But there's a fair bit of road noise. That may very well be the tyres that I've got on the car. The tyres are all well above the legal minimum, 1.6 mil, but I don't know whether purchasing a new set of tyres would be the thing. I'm going to head off and make a little bit of progress. I'm going to stick cruise control on as well. Now, what am I going to do with the vehicle behind? Hopefully you can still see the vehicle behind with this little camera. I haven't got the dash cam set up yet. I'm just going to pop it in here. Just managing my space. You can do this with the cruise control as well. So just by taking a few off, it then allows this one past to then back out. I was just watching that one to the left hand side there for a little second. Bus is probably going to go back, so I'm just going to make sure I'm ahead of this car before I then come back in. It's really important to be aware of people who could be coming out. Lane discipline, absolutely not going to be overtaking anyone. Glide back to lane 1. I'm going to reset the cruise and chill. Left knee in the middle, works as normal, as it does with all cars. And it's not where the left knee is pointing or where you seem it to, or where you think it seems to be. It's where it's tracking. Just look up. If your left knee seems to be tracking in the middle of the lane, it works nicely. This car's just pulled in front. It is slightly going away, so I'm not even going to adjust my cruise control for that situation. I'm just going to let it go away. If your gap is growing between yourself and people in front, that's a much lower risk than even staying the same. So sometimes if people do pull in front of you a little early, as long as they're going away, it shouldn't be a big deal. You should be watching nice and far up the road anyway. My speedo's saying 70, but on the sat nav it's saying 67, so we've got 3 miles an hour to play with. First time I've even realised that. But all comfortable. What's going on? We've got no one near us behind, so that's all good. This motorway's pretty quiet at the minute. We do leave for the M62 shortly. It's mainly going to be motorway stuff, but I'm going to give you an idea of how I'm thinking. I know I've done many motorway drive like a driving instructor bits before, but what am I going to have to do differently with a car with less power? An 115 brake isn't a very small amount. It's still, as you found out before, as you saw before, it's still got plenty to get me up and get me going. But you've just got to be mindful, because cars with extra power like my Focus can get you out of bother a little quicker, and that's absolutely right as well. I'm just going to stick my glasses on because I'm squinting a little bit. We are catching these out in front. Now, when would you get out round any situation? Well, I'm going to get out when there's a big gap behind, so least resistance, if you like, keeping flow as good as I can. You don't want to arrive at the back of someone and then deal with it. Now, I'm just going to take cruise off a little second because there's a police car approaching. I didn't want to be next to all of this with the police car going past. So again, I left myself an out. I didn't want them to move, and then me having to do something in the path of that oncoming police car, which was travelling quite quick as well, if I was honest, but nice and safely. There was time to do it. I am taking the M62 off. We are going to head back in, seeing the whole front of the lorry in both mirrors before I head back. Try not to cut in front of people. Now, who's the issue? Is the Audi going to come back in, or are they just showing good lane discipline? It doesn't matter because I've got a nice space. Cruise control, I'm catching these in front. I think I'm just going to take it off a little second and just be managing the space myself. One behind's pretty good as well. They've kept the space. It's all good. The Audi did look as though it was showing good lane discipline before. It's moved out and it's going a bit further up, unless it cuts back into the left lane here. It doesn't look as though it does. But what can this white vehicle in front see behind the DPD lorry, or in front of the DPD lorry? Not very much. So I'm always wary of people who drive that close as well. They could end up being reactive. So I'm going to look to do an overtake. I'm just going to see where the white one's going to go. They could just be following. No one behind an issue. No, I'm all okay. What's the balance and handling like? So settle the car down with a little bit of gas. I'm actually going to do a lane change back in. Handles really nicely, this thing. It's not as tight and as taut as the Focus ST, but still more than comfortable going around here at 60 miles an hour, which it is. I know that Ben said advisory 50. Have a look at it, it's situational. We've got very good conditions, quite light traffic. It's not an issue for that particular bend, but never push it. So, what am I going to do now? I'm in the left lane. I'm not going to lane change. Some people would and be instantly trying to get out. I've got a longer period of time now to try and find my little gap. Is this little white one, this little Honda, going to sit right next to me? Nope. Looked white there for a second. It's like a pearlescent light blue. Anyway, no problems. I am going to look to do an overtake. Look sideways, lean and look sideways, and it pulls strongly and comfortably up to 70. So I always say anything more than 200, 250 horsepower is generally wasted. You don't honestly need more than that, although my Focus has got more than that. Who's I signalling to there, by the way? Some people say you shouldn't have to signal to come back in behind the lorry. That scenario with these two vehicles catching me in lane 2 and 3 just gives them a little preemption that I'm moving out of the way, so maybe one of them could have moved back, but the Vauxhall in lane 3 isn't catching anyone for a bit, although they are coming up to the ambulance now. What am I going to do with the ambulance? This Civic has slowed down a little touch. Are they one of those middle lane drivers? They were catching me when the road was clear in front. No, good. You should be looking to go round. Don't just speed up and slow down as per the flow of the traffic in this middle lane. Did anyone get onto the flashing of the signal of the Civic in front? It was fast. I'm sure everyone knows this, but there might just be one or two people out there who are new to the channel, especially because this car is involved, and I'm just going to reiterate something about this car shortly. Yeah, that signal, it was flashing fast, and that means that there's a bulb out somewhere on that right hand side of that Civic. So if you see your signals flashing fast, check your bulbs. So what's going on? I'm just going to keep an eye on these coming up in lane 3. We've got the SUV Porsche, the BMW catching. Notice I've just given myself a little bit of space to allow them to pass, so I've got more space around me as this emerges and comes on. So that was all an absolute non-event. Should I overtake? I'm doing 64. I'm just going to let this red Renault just trundle past. I haven't got that instant pull that I could have done in my car and gone, whoop, 70, off we go. Red one's got out of the way. So I think, if I was honest, driving a car of this power teaches you a little bit more planning. But having a car with a little bit more power does get you out of a few situations yourself sometimes. Be able to deal with all of it. It's that simple. So just to reiterate, it wasn't massively clear in the video because I said about the CarPlay screen when I picked this car up. I said about the CarPlay screen, I was going to get it fitted, and some people thought that I was just talking about giving the CarPlay screen away. Well, I am, but I'm also giving the whole car away. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to try and find a way. Maybe we can do a raffle. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. I'm just going to go out to lane 3 here. This one's catching. There we go. So even when I'm talking, still watching everyone's movements. So yeah, it might be a raffle to get rid of this, a small entrance fee, and see if we can get a few hundred people maybe paying, I don't know, £3 a head or something, and see whether you can win this. Although I've done this for a first car series, this would be a cracking family car. All you driving instructors who do follow the stuff that I do, what a nice touch it would be if you entered the raffle as well, won it, and then give it away to your following pupil who was going to get through their test. What a nice touch that would be. But yeah, any new drivers, any drivers whatsoever, are going to be open to this raffle. All I'm going to stipulate is that you follow what I do. So you've got to subscribe. If you haven't done already, why not press that button now? But we'll go into that a little bit more detail. Like I said, I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do. I am going to get out into lane 3 now before the Fiesta catches me. So I'm getting out into a space, gives them more time to act and change what they're doing. I am doing 69 miles an hour, so they shouldn't then push up and tailgate. But sometimes people use that as a way of saying, I'm trying to get past you. I know, I'm not soft, but I'm just going to have a little lean forward, make sure there's no one coming from the out or furthest left before I head in. And away you go, there you go. Impatient arse, and you get on with your day. Okay. What are we doing miles per gallon? We're doing 56.4 miles per gallon. Got the air conditioning as cold as it can. Sat at 70 miles an hour, and that's just going up because I did sit with the engine on in a little bit of a queue when I did just fill up just previously before I started the video. Now, what's going on here? Don't want to be triple stacked. In other words, people coming out, me being next to the Corsa, and then people in that lane. But it was okay because nothing was coming. I am going to have a lean forward. Lean forward is a super skill, little sideways glance. It's not a proper blind spot as well when you are on motorways or on fast moving carriageways. It's not a proper blind spot. You don't want to be looking behind you. This one's totally fine coming through on the left hand side. I've set my stall out, I'm in this lane, and with the gantries up above and where the road goes, I'm totally fine with this one coming past. It's not a problem. Although how far it's going to get them I don't know, with the red lorry up ahead. In any case, all I'm making sure now is that I'm going to give them an option to come back out if they really needed to. But we're all good. A little bit of movement from the black van up ahead. That was a late lane change. Range Rover far lane 3 behind us. A few brake lights up ahead near the lorry. It's bunching. So just watching the Range Rover. See what I said about the white Focus, about not getting them very far. I am going to pop it out now just before the Range Rover gets to the situation where it would be coming back in. I made sure that it was still really visible in my mirror before I come back. So always be careful of other people's movement when you're coming into lane 2, whether it be from lane 3 or whether it be from lane 1. Be really conscious of it. We are following M6 Birmingham, so I do have to get across to the left-hand lane. What's best to do here? I have got enough power to get past, but I'm actually not going to bother. I'm just going to drop us in this little pocket and just give myself an option to go that way if there was anything from this side. I'm just watching again the Range Rover in lane 2 next to me. Again, a little lean, drop it back in. Again, the signal's saying to anyone else who's wishing to get across to this side, or can moving over, by all means come in. I'm not trying to restrict flow and maybe bunch them up further back. I'm happy to accommodate even if the Jag wants to come in. I don't think it does. It's staying out for too long. I'm going to stay in this lane. Take it back. Think about what I said about the Jag. Staying out for too long, and then it goes and does that. In any case, what I was doing, it's not a problem. I'm just timing my move past this lorry to when the solid markings happen. So if this one came back, I've still got a little bit of an escape route that way. And I'm going to tuck it back into lane 1. And again, balance the car. The car does soak up road imperfections really well. 149,833 miles at this very moment. Cracking motor, 58.8 miles a gallon. It's well going to be over 60 by the time I get there. What's going on behind? Got the white, looks like a Polestar coming up behind. Might be wrong. Should know what a Polestar looks like. One of my sons has got one. Cracking motors then, by the way. Just obviously an electric Volvo effectively. That might be an option for a future car. I do like the comfort of the Volvo brand, if I was honest. Definitely less sporty than the BMWs. What's your thoughts on Volvo as a brand? Are they a brand that you think, nah, too old hat? Is that why I'm getting drawn to them a little bit? Interesting to hear what you think. The key is, I didn't pick this car, don't forget, because I wanted a Volvo. It just came out as though, or as it was one of the least expensive to insure. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to go a little more just to try and communicate with the BMW that I'd like to use that space, but you've got to be careful of that one in front. BMW's moved, sideways glance to make sure no one's coming in. It's quite busy there, but also notice, thank you. Also notice how the lean forward helped that situation. You don't want to be checking blind spots at that point. We've got traffic joining, escape routes are limited. I'm just going to drop back of this lorry. In fact, no, I'm just going to get myself out to lane 2. No bothers, all good. I'm now going to accommodate the lorry. There's a little bit of shenanigans going on behind as well. Everyone doing things last moment. Is that an Audi involved? Perhaps. Okay, no problem. The car is perfectly capable of dealing with anything on the motorway. Just being careful of the BM. I'm just making sure I just made a little bit more progress to make sure I was past where the BMW who was moving into lane 2 would have moved into lane 3 if they were going to move. Making sure no one's coming from that far side back. You will get people on occasions trying to tick other people off and reprimand other people because they're not moving all the way back to this left lane, and you'll get them coming past in lane 1, zooming out at the last moment. BMW's decided to make a little more progress. No issue. Totally fine being in lane 1. 65 miles an hour. 59.8 miles per gallon. Am I going to go out? Yes, I am. So notice my blind spot checks aren't fully turning backwards. They're lean forward and look sideways. And I also utilise peripheral vision. Could the Tesla come out? I've got an escape route. but I think I'm just going to make it obvious and say, go on and off you go if you want to go. And when they don't take this gap, you've got an idea that they're quite happy to sit in behind. They are coming, there you go. So anticipate other people and think on whether you can preempt it and just allow the flow. Just backing off, letting this Ford go out, and then I'm going to look to get out past the McBurnley transport lorry. Notice what I did with this lorry as well. I just backed off because they were close in towards the Audi, allowing them an opportunity to come out if they had to. I know I was a little close to the back bumper, but I still had options there. It wouldn't have taken me much just to slow my speed, adjust it, and then just allow the lorry to come in. Perfect flow all the time. Can't do it when you're tailgating. National Highways quite recently released a little campaign about tailgating. You see it's commonplace all the time. We had it before with the red Fiesta back on the M62. So that's okay. That one's going faster than me, so I'm growing the gap, so that makes it safer. I was just backing off so I wasn't going to be, again, triple header with lorries and vehicles that side. If one person just creates that little bit of space, if someone comes in or someone comes out, it's honestly, it could be as much as a problem solved. It really could. It could be the difference between a big collision and nothing. Just create little bits of space. And that's also something that people must be mindful of when they're saying about lane hogging as well. People do have really poor lane discipline. Absolutely have poor lane discipline. But there is a certain element of it that needs to be accounted for when you're seeing other people, to say, well, look, you know, you can't all stack in one lane. It's got to flow a little bit. Sometimes people will be doing what I just did there, just backing off a little bit. What's this one doing next to me now? So I've just backed off a touch, back on it again. So yeah, there might be a little element that people are just backing off so they're not all three, 1, 2, 3, even lane 4 abreast. People may be doing that, so do appreciate when you do see someone who's maybe just staying in lane 2 for a little longer and they're just slightly adjusting. I know it doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. You can spot people who do the same sort of things that I try and do. Okay, again, I'm going to do the same thing with this red one and the minibus with people coming out. Doing 67 miles an hour, so I've got a little bit just to go. 70, it's actually 71, but I'll borrow 1 or 2 miles an hour all the time, never an issue. Okay, not a big problem. We're 59.5 miles a gallon. So we've gone down slightly, so that seems to be about at the level where it's going to cruise at 70 with air conditioning on, around 60 miles a gallon. It's fair play. If you took that down to same sort of speed as the lorries are doing, I'm sure you'd be mid-60s comfortably. So time to go back in. A signal is a benefit because the van in lane 3 may then decide to come back into lane 2, which they have done just then perfectly. Haven't got a rear cam. Hopefully you can see through the dog mesh behind me. Callie hasn't been out in the car as of yet. I'm going to get back out because I don't want them to catch me at the time where I need to be moving. Did it early enough so the Mini knew that they were going to stay there. So all of these little decisions are really important. I said it might be awkward for you to pick up on some of the things that I'm saying today because I haven't got a rear cam. I haven't had a chance. I wanted to actually stick the new VFO A329 in for this little trip, but I haven't had a chance. I've been too busy today, and I've got to get here. I've agreed to meet this guy at 7 o'clock. Yeah, signal to come back. I hear it saying from sometimes people who do IAM or ROSPN, you don't need signal to come back, you don't need to. Sometimes you do. Do not be as rigid. And that's it. So we are heading off here. I'm going to have a little look to see where we're going. I'm not going to show you the place where I'm picking the wheels up. That would be unfair of this eBay seller. They don't know what to do. I don't think anyway. It's always a little bit of a problem with me buying stuff. Ashley and buying some Volvo wheels. If he's seen the videos, you never know. But hopefully that's not the case. Just always want to be as anonymous as possible. But I am leaving at this junction. I'm still going to carry this little video on as long as I can until we're closer to where I'm picking it up. So keep an eye on people, see if they can read any clues. Is the old guy in a Fiesta going to move back into the left? If they do, they're probably coming off. I'm watching the Peugeot in lane 2. I've already had a look at my lovely big sat-nav screen. I'm heading right at the next junction. I don't think I've ever been off here. Is anyone going to come in? It's the Cupra. No, no one's coming in late. So let's have a little look, see what I'm doing. No one's followed me, makes it a little bit easier. Heading round to the right. This is an interesting one. Northwich. I'm going to go into lane 2. I think both of these lanes go round, but if you're ever in doubt, pick lane 2. I've seen this junction on a clip. Someone jumped a bad red light here. So making sure I was onto it. It was amazing how I recognise certain things from the clips that people send me. Yeah, and both could have gone round there, so I'm just going to tuck it back. In fact, I'm not. I'm going to get through the junction first, change my mind. I am just going to chuck it back in now. All good. Yeah, I've got all my memory storage problems sorted now, so if you've been delaying sending any clips because you were conscious of that, I appreciate your thought. I know a few people have done that, but feel free. If you've got any footage, chuck it across the normal address. The easiest way to do it, just being mindful of the van's probably not concentrating, maybe on a mobile phone or something. They had a little nudge of the curb, so instantly again, what have I done? Although it's a 60 limit, I've dropped off. Escape route with the lorries in the lay-by. I don't think I'm going to have an escape route because we've got 4 piling up, so I've just again reduced slightly. Never know. Okay, so yeah, the best way to send in clips, a lot of people have over the years just sent them as email attachments. The quality is pants, if I was honest. Still thanks, I still sometimes use them, but sometimes the quality puts me off using the clips. Not puts me off, it's just not good enough for people to get an idea of exactly what the clip is all about. So if you do send any clips in, please, if you can upload them to Google Drive or similar, then send me a sharing link. That's the best way to do it. Make sure when you set the privacy to anyone who's got that link. That's a common thing that I do find. Now, little pockets of space again. This Audi's just had a little push, so I'm going, yep, sound, you stay in front. Keeping distance. This van's been okay. Maybe it was a little momentary lapse in concentration. We've got 3.9 miles until I'm heading off. I don't actually know this road. Nice road, to be fair. I'm sure John knows it. John, let me know in the comments if you know this road, or more surprisingly, let me know if you don't know it. I'm sure you do. That's all fine. No one's jumping on the brakes for the speed camera, which they shouldn't be doing. Glasses on the top of my head. Really non-eventful drive. 60.9 miles a gallon. You can see just by dropping that speed a little bit how it increases your MPG. Remember that on the motorway, but I would always advise do at least the speed of the lorries, because then you're not going to be forcing them to have to move out. Try not to be going slower than them. 3.2 miles till we're heading off. No issues with this road. It's a nice big road, this, like this one. So 2-lane single carriageway. It's another thing that we'll just cover just as we're here. Dual carriageway will have a central reservation. This hasn't. Sometimes people think if this was a national speed limit, this would be 70. There are certain little exceptions around. There was a clip recently that I analysed. There was a little discrepancy over the speed limit. If you're unsure, go to the lower level. Still okay for a bit. Gearbox is nice and slick. No issues changing any gears. The car runs smoothly as well, to be honest. No grumbles. I think what I will do, said I wasn't going to do it, still haven't done it yet, but I might run it through my X-Tool scanner, see if there's any little extra problems I can find before I give this car away, don't forget. Okay. Nothing going on, 2.2 miles. Junction to left, warning triangle, so there's been a serious or a fatal collision at the history of this junction. No one's around me. Just drop a little gear, I haven't got as much oomph as I would do in a Focus. Sometimes you've got to utilise the gears a little more. National speed limit, dual carriageway. What's going on up ahead? I am taking the road off to the left. All good. Nothing going on there. Happy. That skid risk sign was for me. Now, advisory speed limit at 10 miles an hour. What do you reckon? Can you hear any stone chips being thrown up? No. I can't whatsoever. It looks as though it's been newly laid, newly painted. It says no road markings. For me, that's a pretty obvious, clear sign that no reason to be doing the lower speed limit. Say no overtaking as well, but again, it's a little bit of a funny one. Sometimes you will find the laziness of clearing up the signs, saying that could have been just done today, could be scheduled tomorrow to clear all the signs, but I think they should be down as soon as the road finish, or has finished. Obviously no issues. Interesting one, that. So, no problems. 0.9 miles. I've got 3.6 miles. Where's this one going? This one's turning. I've got an escape route. But by slowing earlier, I even made it so I didn't even have to change gear. Try and put that into your driving as well, if you possibly can. By slowing earlier and creating more time until you get to the problem, it increases the chance of that problem clearing sooner, and actually you will flow through the problem at a faster rate. It saves fuel, it's safer, it's better for people behind, it's more car sympathetic. Try it. Glass is back on again. So, we've got a roundabout coming up. In fact, no, we're not. We're turning left here. Good job I had a little look at the sat-nav, because I have not got the sound on. One thing I have had to get used to with the Volvo as well is because it hasn't got as short a steering rack, it takes more to turn around the corners. So I've got used to the Focus being effectively 2 turns lock to lock, and this is back to the old school. A lot of modern cars are going like the Focus as well. Just appreciate that if you do ever drive a different car, that all the steering ratios can be different. The Focus is obviously like that because of its supposed sporty nature. Can't speak tonight. Roads like this, we've got the mirror to the right. Yes, that's for people coming out, but I've said this before, it's also for people on this road to look in. Constantly looking for potential of overtaking. Overtaking is the killer on roads like this. If people overtake, could put me at big danger, so I'm not going to get involved. I'm going to do my utmost to stop that happening. So every vehicle that's oncoming, I'm always going to be looking to see if there's anyone overtaking. All slow before the corner, balance to go around. Not a bad little road this one as well. Back down to a 40 limit. Still straight for a little bit. It's been quite a simple, easy route back in. Will fifth gear still be comfortable at 40? Yeah, about 1400 revs, torquey diesel, not a problem. Any junction is a potential issue. I'm just going to drop into fourth because we've slowed it a little bit more. Although it's torquey, there's not as much torque and pulling power as my Focus, like I've said. Still absolutely peach of an engine. Really good, well happy. Now, I'm just going to go on with the oncoming car. I was just holding back, making sure the van did go fully over. If they weren't going to go fully over, where was the oncoming car going to go? Potentially into me. Sunlight in their eyes, maybe. All good, nothing going on. Cycle event warning us off. Still straight on. So I've got about a mile until I get to where I'm going to go. There's the cycling event. Is it him on his own? Perhaps not. There could be a time trial, so they'll let people off in different stages. It could again just be a lazy old sign that's not been taken down, perhaps. So we haven't got long before I get to where I've got to go. I think I'm going to wrap this one up. Not much going on with the Drive Like a Driving Instructor. A few different scenarios. I think the big thing, the big take from that is not being 3 or 4 abreast. Pocket of space to another different level. Other thing I'd like to just re-highlight is not a full blind spot check. Can't see ahead and I'm going to drift. Lean forward, can see ahead, look in the mirror, sideways glance. Much safer, much more relaxing. Less likely to pull the wheel one side or the other. So we will wrap this up. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Remember, please keep watching because this car is going to be given away to one lucky winner. I'll see you soon.